I've made multiple six figures profit in just the last year trading Solana meme coins. If I lost it all today, in this video, I'm gonna be showing you how I would do it all over again to make my first 100K step by step, even as a complete beginner. Crypto as a whole is booming. I know you see people 10xing, even 100xing their portfolios within weeks, while you're probably still getting rugged or watching plays 100x right before your eyes. I'm gonna deep dive into every single thing that you need to know, from trenching new pairs on bonk and pump fun to mastering technical analysis and strong narratives. Guys, I go by the name of TILLA. I was born in the Bronx, New York, grew up in the trenches of Waterbury, Connecticut. Guys, I got into university, dropped out my last year to go all in on trading. I grew up in poverty, the real trenches, and because of Web3, I was able to buy my mama a house, buy my dream car, travel all around the globe with the people that I love. Crypto changed my life, so I'm spilling all of the secrets so that you can avoid rugs and catch those massive runners. Plus, I just dropped a free meme coin course and community access. First link in the description. Nobody is giving this much sauce for free, so lock it in now. Smash that subscribe button, family. Stick with me to the end for some serious alpha plays that you can get into now, and let's get those profits. Let's get into it. All right, so here on my screen, I have basically every single thing that you need to know to print on Solana meme coins. Today, we're going to go over two aspects to trading meme coins. There's trenching, navigating the meme coin trenches, how to research and vet new tokens so you don't get rugged and find that next 100x. And then two, how to actually play the charts. You guys seen we've been talking more technicals, floors, bidding bottoms, things of that nature, understanding both narratives and technical analysis. So trenching, scanning for meme coins and getting those 100x's. That's what you get with trenching, because you're exposing yourself to more risk, but you're also exposing yourself to more reward because you're so early. There are thousands of coins being created daily, and it's exhausting to keep up with everything because 98% of these coins straight rug and never even make it a migrated. If you guys been trenching even for a week or two, you probably realize it. First day you realize this. This is the pump statistics. In the last 24 hours, 8,599 tokens launched, 70 graduated. In the past 24 hours, and this is just pump fund. If you look over here, right, because bonk eco is taking off, total tokens launched is already 500,000. Total graduated is like 1% of that. Bonk is taking over, but I just want to show you like the minuscule amount of opportunity there really is on a grand scheme of things. And that's why it's so important to scan the filters I'm going to show you. Being able to decipher rugs early is already going to take out 99% of the bullshit, but it's still very, very risky. Like, people don't understand. This is very Degen, right? Degen is degenerate style of like gambling and, you know, locking in, but you got to understand what the risk is for real and why I teach it two different styles, and why I mainly, like, my style is mainly the latter, narrative based trading system, but trenching is also fun and we do catch X's that way. So to get better at scanning for a runner, you need to vet properly and know if it's safe. That's the first thing. And the main thing is, does it fit the meta? Meta, in other words, is the most effective tactic available in gaming. Refers to the current most effective tactics, strategies, or character builds that are considered optimal for success in games, right? If you play Pokemon, for example, the main meta right now would be the strongest card deck that you could play against another player online. So they'll be like, what's the meta? And you're gonna strategically play your hand according to the most popular hands in the game. Like, what are the best players playing with? What are the best Pokemons, or whatever the case is, and you strategize. Every season is a new meta. There's new cards dropping, things of that nature. This is a popular term for gaming, but like I said a long time ago, scanning in the trenches is the new gaming. Trading on-chain on Solana is the new gaming, and it's a real skill set that you need to have. So it's essentially the best way to play a game at any given time. So you need to know what's the meta, and it's the overarching theme of the market. What is the meta? Now, as you guys know, if you're in the group, you know I test all different bots. I tested Nova recently. I tested Padre recently. And I keep finding myself just coming right back to Axiom. It's goated. I think everybody here is trading on Axiom already, but Axiom is goated. And I'm going to show you guys kind of the new updates. People have been asking about it. I'll go over everything now. And if for whatever reason you're not trading on Axiom already, make sure to use the partnership link in the description. It's going to give you double the rewards, and it's also going to give you way less fees. Trading on the right link is important. You can use the code RAGE or just use the link in the description. That's going to get you all set up, and every single thing we teach is already revolved around this platform. So go ahead, lock it in. Trading on the right link will make you a lot more money in the long run. So let's go over filters. As you guys know, new pairs, final stretch, and migrated. I'll actually update these in real time so you can see the thought process behind updating my filters in real time, so you know why I change it and what makes sense for different volume. Different times of the day are going to give you a different filter or best filter to take. Look, check this out. On new pairs, lately I had it on bonk. I was only looking at bonk coins just because it completely took over and people were only sending shit on bonk. So when they're only sending shit on bonk, and things change, right? Just a month or two ago, when Launchcoin was super exciting, everybody was on Believe Eco, we were looking at Believe coins. We put Believe coins on. We was trying to snipe those very early. Now, right now, pump is coming back, so I keep pump on, bonk on. That's all you really need to know right now in this meta. Metas do change, and this is why it's important to be a part of a group. That's the point of Rage Pro, okay? The point of Rage Pro is for the community to stay updated on metas. Obviously, good scans. We're sending alpha scans every single day. I've been pretty on fire lately. You know, I've been sending less scans, but they've been hitting. I have a pretty high win rate on my alpha calls. So alpha scans, regular scanning, the tools, but don't let that be the main focus. The main focus is being updated on the metas. You got to know what the meta is. You got to ask questions as frequently as possible. You got to be around other like-minded people. That's why it's important, because these things do change by the week. So just so you understand the mindset behind the filters, right now you have to know what launch pads are running, what launch pads make the most sense. Right now, Believe is doing shit. I'm not even looking at Believe right now. Believe coins just aren't running. We were talking about this in the inner circle just yesterday. They had some fire tech blow up $10 million runner on bonk. Bonk is taking over even ICM, Internet Capital Markets. That's a meta in itself. In short, protocols we're looking at in this meta, pump and bonk. Everything else is just noise. All right, if you want to make money, you got to know what the meta is. So then you go down to audit on new pairs. Now I'm looking for a maximum age of 10 minutes. Most things are going to shit anyway, so if it's not gaining attention within the first 10 minutes anyway, it's usually already done. Like I showed you guys, thousands of coins, thousands being created every single day. So after 10 minutes, I don't even want to see it. If Dev is holding more than 5% supply on new pairs specifically, I don't even want to see it. And I want a minimum of at least 10 holders, okay? And that's on audit. On metrics, a volume of 2,400 and a minimum market cap of 9K. Now, right now, you can see it's a little bit full right now on new pairs. So sometimes I don't like it to be super full where I have to scroll so much, because the name of the game on trenching is speed. You got to be able to see things fast. You got to see everything with a bird's eye view. So what am I going to do here on new pairs to fix that? So two things. You could put the maximum age to 5 minutes, and then what you can also do, find a happy medium. You could put it on 7 minutes, and maybe on metrics you could just increase this. 10,000 is still a lot, so I'll just go ahead and put 5 minutes. Now I don't even gotta scroll, it's all there. Now on final stretch, it's a little bit different. I have pump and bonk still. Now age, 20 minutes maximum, nothing else on audit. And then on metrics, I have 25,000 volume, 25,000 minimum market cap. Just for the sake of this video, because right now volume's a little slow, there's only 2 coins showing, I'll put it on 15,000. Earlier when I was trenching, it was super full, so I increased it to $25,000 minimum volume, minimum market cap, because it was showing way too many pairs and I needed it to filter down even more. I just want to see the most volume plays. I want to see where the attention is. Even now, as I decreased it, it's still showing only 2. That kind of shows the state of the market. It's a little bit slower right now compared to earlier, because earlier when I was trenching it, this whole thing was full. So you go to migrate it. What filters am I going to use here? The filters that I use here: holders, a minimum of 200 holders, and then on metrics, 75K market cap minimum. That's what I have. Those are the filters that you want to use when you're trenching, and the reason why we use those filters. If we go back here, bot settings, right? Your buy settings on a coin for buys and sells, you're usually going to have 30 to 40% slippage. Sometimes, as you've seen, I teach this in the course on sales, when I'm trenching at least, I keep like a really high slippage just in case, because sometimes things get rugged, sometimes things move really fast, and I just want to get out of the trade no matter what the slippage is. I don't want my transactions to fail. But your priority doesn't have to be high. All right, a lot of people teach, you know, high priority settings. I think they're just going too hard, especially right now when Solana is up. This is your gentle reminder to change your settings, because when Solana is up the way it is, your settings for your priority and your fees are way higher because Solana is higher, and you're going to notice your fees are higher. You're going to be in a trade, you're up on a trade, and you're not as much up as you thought you was because most likely fees. So unless you just don't want failed transactions at all, and your entry matters a lot, and you're in like high volume new pairs, then you don't need a high priority fee. You can keep it at 0.01 or even 0.001. On Axiom, it's so fast, it doesn't really matter. But when you're trenching, you could keep it a little bit higher. 0.01 is decent. Okay, and then I keep Mev on, and those are just the bots that sandwich your trades. I noticed they're way less popular than they used to be, or maybe just the platforms are so much better. I don't even see myself getting Mev like ever anymore. You guys know the safety check, token info, top 10 holders. Now at launch, the top 20 wallets are always going to hold most of the supply. So when you're trenching, people ask me this all the time. You're looking for everything to be green. You got to know the rules, but you got to also know when to break the rules. You got to know the rules, but you actually need to know when the rules matter most. So in the beginning, top 20 wallets are always going to control most of the supply. It just went live. That's usually okay. It's going to be red. It's not going to be super clear. And again, like I said, if you're trenching, you're exposing yourself to more risk for more reward. That's just the idea of trenching. It's going to be more risky. It's going to be less distribution or less clear distribution. It's going to be more bundles, more insiders, things of that nature. That's just the game that you're playing. You want to trench? That's what you're dealing with. Okay. Dev should not have more than 5%. Nowadays, it's ideally 0. There was a time where devs used to actually be very important. These days, devs aren't important. Okay. Everything gets CTO. Communities more so run projects than devs. So for the most part, that's gonna be 0. You want to see dev sold. Usually the coin won't even run until dev sold. Now there are instances where the dev is active. There are instances where it is an influencer and they're controlling the coin and they're in front of the coin and they're public about the coin, and in those cases, cool. And usually even still, they're gonna lock supply and things of that nature, which we teach in the course. I'm not gonna go over that now, but you can tell when they lock supply. You know, it's gonna say false on SolScan. You'll see top wallet holds 5, 6, 7, 10%. If you see wallets holding that much, you want to know that it's locked, that you're safe in the coin. But for the most part, it's going to be dev sold. In this instance, you see dev holds like 1%. Now, snipers, guys, these are people that snipe the coin upon launch that aren't a part of the project, and they're just looking to trade. So you want to see no snipers. These are people that snipe Twitter plays and things of that nature, and it'll go up like crazy, but snipers are always going to kill a chart. You don't want to see snipers in your coin. And insiders, these are airdrop coins. These are people that send their supply to other wallets, so that distribution appears to be organic, but is not organic. If you see a lot of insiders on a coin, and you'll see the ghost next to their name on, I'll show you actually, insider and bundled, right? So this is somebody that sent supply probably to themselves, and it's also an insider because they sent it to themselves. They got airdropped to them. So those are the things that you want to look for. You don't want to see too many insiders on any given project. Now, bundles. People talk about getting rugged. The definition of a rug changed over time. Back then, rugs used to be literally, they took liquidity straight from under you. You'd be in a coin, it'll be going up 500K, 1 mil, 2, 3 mil. Next thing you know, the whole liquidity pool gets sucked from under you, and like your whole bag is at 0 out of nowhere. That doesn't happen on these new age platforms. Pump Fund changed the game for that. Like, it's locked. It's automatically LP burned on every single time, and people can't take the liquidity from under you. Bonk, they can't do that. Launch a coin. Most of the protocols, that's not going to be a problem. But with bundles, that's how they rug people now. By sending supply to other wallets, making it look organic, but one person's controlling 20-30% of the supply. Now, Axiom has the bundle checker, as you see here, but it's not always accurate. There's more advanced tech out now where people can bundle damn near undetected. We have the magical tools that work on pump fund coins. We have advanced checkers for that, but even still, if you're early on a trade, there's a high likely chance that it's bundled to some extent. You're gonna see that. right? Now on LP, you want to see that it's burned. And like I said, Launchpad today changed the game. It's locked liquidity, so people are not taking from the pool. You'll see on bonk coins, I've noticed, like it'll say LP is like question marks and stuff on Axiom, but that's, I mean, it doesn't really mean anything. It's burnt. Like nobody can suck the liquidity out of a bonk coin or any of these protocols that we're looking at. That's just how it's built. A lot of the tech now isn't geared for these new launch pads. All of these launch pads have been created in the past few months. Every single coin in the past year has always been on Pump Fund. Most of the tools that we have in Pro are for Pump Fund coins. They don't even have tech yet that's up to date with Bonk Eco, Launching Coin Eco, Jupiter Eco, like all of these other launch pads. So sometimes like the analytics or the token info might be just a little bit confusing because of that. But then again, that's why you're here, to learn, right? You're not going to get rugged in a classic sense anyway on any of these launch pads. The stuff that I just went through is just saving you from getting rugged or a dev or a team nuking on you. Now, what do you really want to look for? These are the things that you're looking for. Something safe, the things that I showed, something low market cap, right? Let's say sub 30K, 50K, and something that's a decent meme with good graphics, pictures, active socials. Now on Axiom, you could click on the socials, and I'll show you here. On Axiom, you could click on any given token's socials, like you'll show you the tweet. Depcoin right now is going crazy because of whatever tweet this is. You'll click on the socials and you'll do some due diligence on it. One could imagine a meme coin that sets aside some tokens or its trading fees to pay off the national debt. That's interesting. And then TILLA replied, this was just 10 minutes ago, "This is our duty." So what does the community do? First thing they do, and Crunch is a very famous, Orangey just did like a whole interview with him, made millions just deving coins. He already made a coin on this tweet, and that's why you see it going crazy. So Guy, just a Guy, for example, you'll look at the community, you want to see socials. Now socials used to be on Telegram. They used to do a lot of ratings, buy bots, things of that nature. That was last year. This year, it's more so X communities. Everything is on X. That's what you want to look for. We're not really looking at Telegram communities. Telegram it's a lot of scammers in there. There's a lot of drainer links. I don't even look at Telegram groups so much anymore. Most people don't. Usually you're gonna find an active X community and an active X account leading the coin. So you'll see, you know, the members. You'll look at any notable members, people that we follow in the space, and you want to see what it is that they're doing. What's the art? How active are they? Do you see a long-term potential? Is it a good ticker? Like, this is one of those ones where everybody's going to change their PFP to these Guy pictures. Everybody would have their own PFP profile pic to these Guy pictures. And once you see more of that, it's more likely to send. So you want to check the socials. Does it have an original narrative? Is the community active? Is the community growing? How much are people talking about the coin? Those are the things that you want to look at. Now, you'll be able to quickly peep. You'll see their website, their graphics, and anything low quality or forced too hard, you probably shouldn't hold. You can sculpt these, but for the most part, these are going to be quick runners, especially when you're trenching. You're going to be a lot more aggressive with your take profit. A lot of this I kind of went over, Telegram communities. So if you manage to bid a coin with seemingly well done socials and a good meme, generally around 25 to 45K market cap, you're likely to catch a solid win. Again, thousands of coins are being created every single day. Most of it is bullshit, from the bundles to just it not lasting long. Sometimes it's a good idea, it just doesn't work. Maybe you're too early, things of that nature. So you want to be very patient on what you bid. If you guys ever scammed and trenched with me in the VCs, you'll see like I'm so patient. I will sit there all day and maybe get into 2 or 3 trades, and then just the discipline. If I lose 2 trades in a row or something like that, then I'll just chill. I'll just wait till later or try again tomorrow. But you got to ask yourself, how many hours of sitting on new deploys will you find that? The answer is I don't know, but you have to be patient. You can't force it. There's a problem that most of us face when we're trading all day or we're scanning all day, and you just want to feel something, and now you start to force a narrative. It's something that's not really good, but it starts to just look good for no reason just because you're bored, and then you start throwing money away. If you're doing that, you just need to take a break, come back later when volume is hot. But you want to look for smart, viral, known memes that make you laugh, and things are going to stand out. You just want to make sure that it's well managed. So understanding how long to hold. Now, again, we're talking about trenching right now. We're talking about trenching. So even if you manage to land an early entry on what looks like a good meme, you got to be careful not to round trip. This is another problem most people face. They want that 1000x runner out of one trade. In this game, you gotta just stack your wins when you're trenching. Certain plays will run to up to 500K, even millions, without a single dip, and then go to 0 in minutes. Okay, and you're just there with a bunch of hopium, didn't take any P, you was up 5-10x, you finally found your run, you was patient, and now you just want to hold it back to 0. Don't do that. That's a huge problem in the space. And I showed you guys this picture before in other trainings. We're on this side of the spectrum. In the beginning, if it's not a slow cook, it's a scam. There's that quick initial pump, and then this is what I'm talking about. It'll go 500, 1 mil, 2 mil on trenching, and it'll go straight to 0. Or not 0, but straight to shit. And that's all the insiders I'm talking about. That's the undetected bundles that are just going, and then it rotates into actual believers. And then later, when you find those bottomed out charts, that's when you could get in and catch those serious X's with size, with confidence. The downtrends on new launches are super dangerous, and you will round trip 5 to 10 X's or more if you think you caught the next useless. Remember this, the more aggressive the pump, the more aggressive the dump. And low port kings, take profit on the wins you have. You have to be more aggressive with a lower port, because you can hold coins longer term when you have the risk tolerance for that, and you're able to hold without it draining the liquidity of your whole port, right? Because you're likely not going to hold if you only have a little bit left in your port, and now you can't even trench the rest of the day and you want to trench. So you might as well just take your profit and build your port until you can hold coins and still be able to trade and have money liquid. So hitting escape velocity on Solana is rare unless a general viral meme occurs or you hit a cabal coin. So if you do this long enough, there will be times where you're taking P, and there's going to be times where you get in a coin and it like you're early enough and you just catch a random 10x. 20x out of nowhere. Okay, out of nowhere you'll catch those 10x's, but you got to be patient. You got to take your P on the way every single time when you're trenching. It's a luxury to hold, but when you're trenching, that's not really the goal. You're trying to flip money quick, and that's what most people are actually here to do. No matter how much I'll say, bid narratives, build convictions, hold for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, most people can't even do that because it's not worth it for them. And I'll explain why. And again, this video is very nuanced, might be repetitive, but I'm gonna explain why so that you understand. Alternative ways to find good coins is obviously the volume monitors. On Axiom, if you guys didn't know, Axiom has a lot of cool updates that they did. If you look here on the bottom, I went over this in Raise Pro recently. Somebody asked about how do you know about volume and things of that nature. You can see here, right now, volume is a little slower. It's showing negative trades, the amount of traders, pro traders volume, the amount of volume in total, 24-hour volume, and it even shows you by protocol. Bonk launch pads, pump fund launch pads, believe. Right now, Bonk is fully taken over, as you see here. Bonk launchpad, pump fund, and that gives you an idea of where volume is and when to be trenching and when to probably slow down. Go touch grass. Touching grass is very important. If the name is good and the community put in some effort, then it's safe and low market cap. Throw some soul in, right? But what you want to avoid is top blasting coins that hit 300k to 500k in the first candle as soon as you open the chart. You guys probably see those a lot. Those are usually insiders or cabals, and they're ready to just dump on everybody. And while you're top blasting, you thought you found a runner because of all the volume. You're chasing green candles and you're getting dumped on. High volume at launch is going to induce FOMO, and that's just a recipe for disaster. And then you want to avoid bundled projects, 20 to 30% of supply. That's hard to avoid in the beginning, but if you're early enough, that's why I say like lower market caps, a lot of times you can sneak into the bundle, but you got to be aggressive with taking profits, right? And then another thing to avoid is smart wallets aping. Now, this is a balance here because I'm also going to talk about multi-buy signals, but you got to know what multi-buy signals are good and what multi-buy signals are bad. For example, you guys will see certain KOLs get into a coin and it won't send until they sell. If you guys notice, a lot of charts won't send until Cupsy's out. They won't send until Marcel's out. They won't send until, because a lot of these guys, they farm for so long that it's just like people are just tired of it. Anybody that knows trading is usually just going to wait for those KOLs and things of that nature to get out before it sends. If you guys saw what happened with memecoin on Bonk, that shit sent crazy after Marcel sold. A lot of coins, you might be in a coin and you see Cupsy sell and then it finally sends. Don't just copy trade people, but just more so, you got to know a lot of these times they're in on it together. Certain KOLs will be, colluding on a chart from the very beginning. You see them ape in and then you end up exit liquidity. So you want to avoid that. Now, tracking wallets on chain. This is a slept on strategy. We teach this in the course as well, but it does take a lot of time. It is a little bit difficult. You gotta have some type of on-chain literacy, but tracking a bunch of wallets who get in early on good shit will help you further vet out early launches. We have the wallet tracker list and Raise Pro and the advanced wallet tracker. It's the multi-buy signals, all of those, right? A bunch of good wallets aping early might be something. So it doesn't mean just blindly ape in on a multi-buy signal, but what it more so means is do your due diligence on that coin quickly. You got to be able to do the due diligence quick, and you got to be able to make a decision quick. And that's why trenching is also hard. I already made a comprehensive guide on that, going through bird eye, finding the top wallets or whatever the case is. But what you want to do is you want to look at any runner of the day on Migrated, look at the coins that hit above $1 million market cap, look at the top traders, and what you want to find is somebody with a 50 to 60% win rate, or they're consistently early on entries, because you can see all of their profits. It's all on chain. So look at all the coins that they got in early. If they're always consistently early, that's somebody who's an insider. That's somebody who's a smart trader. So when you find those, you track their P&Ls, and then just skip fresh wallets and mevs, because a lot of time it might be a fresh wallet. You'll look at the wallet address and it's only that one coin. You'll look at the wallet address and it has thousands of transactions. That's probably a mev or a bot. So there's no point in tracking that, obviously. How do you do that? So you'll look at a coin that went crazy. For example, today, market's been kind of dry today. When you're trenching, you're also looking at the lower time frames. Obviously, you're at 1 minute to 5 minute max, just for the sake of, looking at top traders, and you see how much they put in and how much they made. So right here, this is an insider. They didn't put in anything. This is somebody that was probably bundled supply, sent themselves some supply on another wallet, and they just cashed out, dumped on people's heads. You see that a lot. But then you see people put in 1K, made 4K. So you'll open up this wallet and then you'll see their activity. Top 100 trades, you see their history, things of that nature. If it's a good trader, you want to, you can even go a little bit further and see exactly where they got in and where they got out on the chart. So you saw they were buying early since all the way up here, and they held all the way until it pumped. They might know something. They were buying in since early. And on Bird Eye, you could go a little bit more in depth, like I teach in the course, but that's essentially what you're doing. You're looking at the top traders and you're seeing how much they made, whatever. There aren't any crazy. This person put 500, made 2 racks. You could look at this person, pull it up, total P&L, you see their amount of trading, looks decent, right? Top 100 trades, and then you'll add them, just rename it, track it. Boom, you get enough of these traders doing due diligence. Just in short, little crash course on how to find wallets, find enough of those, rotate them in, then, that's a good indicator. Now, when 5 or 6 good traders get into something at the same time, that's when you have that multi-buy signal. We already track a lot of these guys. We have the multi-buy signals in Pro, but it's not just to blindly ape. You will get rinsed, but you repeat this process, this whole process every single day. Get in the habit of finding top traders, top insiders, people who are consistently early, who have good win rates, and you just keep tracking them. This would always be a pretty good indication when you're in the trenches of a coin that you should be looking at. Now, I strongly advise against new pair trenching unless you're prepared to meticulously scan with due diligence hundreds of coins every single day without even getting in most of them. And if you're working with a very small port, I understand. I see why people want to do trenching more than narrative-based trading. I get it, but you're better off focusing on chart analysis and narrative-driven trades, conviction plays, and building slow than gambling it away on trenching. And then I call that the narrative-based trading system, playing higher market cap charts. Now, this strategy focuses on thorough research to identify market gaps. We see underpriced chart backed by strong narratives, and we're capitalizing on these inefficiencies early to maximize return. So market inefficiencies and analyzing chart patterns, this is what we're going to go over. Now, even if you aren't scanning all day on new pairs, like fast-paced trenching style, there still needs to be a lot of time locked in to a flow state. Guys, where attention goes, money flows. Just scanning, doing research, coin after coin after coin, uninterrupted, and being able to spot patterns, what runs, why it doesn't run. Not chilling, not gambling, literally scanning until you find a narrative that can run. Now, it can take hours before you even find one. This is why you got to enjoy the trenches. Flow state. What does a flow state mean? It's when you're at the perfect balance of the amount of skill you have versus the difficulty. That's a flow state. Meaning, if you're brand new to this, you have to have smaller goals. Like, for example, let's say you got 100 SOL port. 1 to 2 SOL a day is a great achievable goal with this. Because if you aim too high, it's going to be too hard and it's not going to be fun. You're not going to be able to have fun with it. If you've never made 1 to 2 SOL a day and you're trying to make 1 to 2 SOL a day, it's going to be too hard. You're going to crash out with 100 SOL port. Or let's say you have a 10 SOL port. Just aim for 0.1 SOL a day, at least until you learn. If you're new to this, there's too much of a skill gap. The people who really do this shit every single day are going to use you as EL every single time. There's people who've been trading for hours and hours, for days, and now coming on to years. And you're coming in and you think you're going to outperform these guys. It's insane. Even if you feel like you're stuck in place, especially if you've been working at it for weeks or even months without seeing profits, you have to understand that if you're still doing the work, if you're doing the due diligence on every single coin, meticulously vetting every deploy, monitoring every runner for months, you're telling me you can't identify a single pattern to profit from? Guys, on-chain trading, and I said this before, is a game. You have to be unemotional about the money that you put into it and look at it as points. And you get those points by identifying the gaps in the market before your competitors do. At all times, you're spotting asymmetric plays, strong inefficiencies of price compared to the narrative. And I always give like the easy examples of Grok. We talked about the Gork coin. That was a strong inefficiency. When we saw it early, 100K market cap, it was obviously $1 million play. You see that before everybody else. You spot a narrative like that before everybody else, you're in the money, right? The core issue is nobody pauses for even 20 seconds before taking that trade. You mindlessly chase wallets and you depend on these Twitter influencers, these Telegram influencers, acting like you can't make an independent thought for yourself. That's how failures operate. Reliance on anything other than your own system or your own understanding has to be removed if you want to make it. If you want to make it in trading, you have to understand the trades you're getting into yourself as well. Even if I'm putting in a trade, you have to know what the trade means, why it's running, what is the narrative. So spotting narratives, you have to reflect on what you're observing that others might be missing, that they haven't yet noticed. That's where you take your position and you let the play, you have to let it unfold. And if you turn out wrong, you reassess it. This is why journaling is important, which I go over later as well. But you likely misread the situation or you overestimate the opportunity. Adjust your strategy, keep moving. Keep practicing until you start spotting the lagging runner. The simplest and most frequent opportunities won't be high profile events like a tweet or Elon play, right? Because everybody's chasing the Twitter plays. Oh, look at this tweet. And it's like already at 1-2 mil before you even get in, and it doesn't last. Like real communities don't form, real cults don't form from those. There's no further catalyst from those. You have to be able to spot a real narrative before it goes crazy. There is a mindset on that, and you have to always be refining it, no matter how long it takes. And maybe in the beginning it might be not a lot of profit, but it will turn into a lot of profit. Now, my trading approach is basically this. I spend the whole trading session manually scanning. I look through every migrated coin first, daily, every single day. I'm checking Dex Screener every single day, and I'm hunting. I'm doing research on every coin for standout opportunities. Now, if you look here, you'll go on Pulse. On migrated, we have the filters set already. You see what ran. Now you just want to know why it ran. We'll go on Dex Screener furthermore, because Dex Screener shows you a little bit more. On Axiom Pulse, you'll see what ran for the day. That's all you're seeing. All of this past 24 hours, 23 hours ago. Sometimes the best coins that's about to cook to 10, 20, 30, 40 mil this week was already deployed last week. You're going to see that on Dex Screener. You'll see a lot more coins that's been holding up, that have potential, and that can hit those next legs. So you'll go on Dex Screener and you'll figure out why these coins are going crazy. So for example, we'll go in here, just like I said, meme coin. This thing just went absolutely crazy. It got re-CTO'd. And this is the one I was talking about. Marcel sold, right? Your favorite influencers that were talking about it all the way over here already dumped on their followers. It got re-CTO'd, community takeover, and it went straight to 40 mil this week. So are you paying attention? You have to be paying attention. So if you go to X, you can see this community's been growing. 3.1K members. There's not one coin that got launched today that's at 3.1K members. Simple as that. They've been working, grinding. 4.7K followers. They're posting, bull posting every single day. Tom, Bonk Meta, all of these things. You have to understand why these coins run. We got people like Tom backing it. We have notable influencers following it. Bonk guy following. Like, it's way more established than any coin that's came out in the past 24 hours. Those are the things that you want to look for. So I'm looking for that every single day, whether it's a unique narrative, whether the community is just building like a cult-like following, and if something feels fresh and it catches my eye, personally, I'll take, if it's on my graded 1% position, I'll put 5 to 10 SOL right there under 200K market cap and just let it play out. And once it plays out, holding 1-2%, you're up 10, 20, 30K on one coin, just holding it for a week or two. Now, if it's past that point, a lot of times it will be, especially if you're looking on Deck Screener, you're just looking for it to bottom out and you're going to accumulate the lows with size before it rips. So if I go back on Deck Screener, you can see coins on our watch list. We go over this in Inner Circle. We caught a bunch of beautiful coins this week. For example, Valentine was a good coin, right? This was a runner that went crazy last week. Grok Meta, Annie went crazy. Annie's approaching 100 mil market cap. Valentine's another, this is like a beta, but there's a future catalyst that we could foresee. So we saw top of the week, it bottomed out. It kept touching this area around 6 mil, put in a position already 2x'd from the lows. And the catalyst that are supposed to happen for this coin hasn't even happened yet. What happens when Valentine does go public? What happens when Elon starts posting about it more? What happens when, people make memes around just interacting with Valentine and all of these things? I think it's safe to say it can at least hit the previous all-time high, because now it's even a stronger narrative than when it first came out, because it came out just the hype and the rumors. But at the very least, you got in at the bottom, very low risk to reward. At the very most, you break even or take a small loss if it doesn't perform the way it's supposed to, based off of technicals, which we'll go over as well. And that's an example of what I'm looking for. You see the narrative, you see the catalyst, you see the technicals. That's what you're looking for on bottomed out plays, and you understand the narrative. You want to understand the narrative for yourself. That's what's going to give you conviction, right? So why not new pairs or final stretch plays? Again, we talked about this before. Obviously, you can find those in trenching, but there's this style that became popular where streamers are buying 5-10 SOL on multi-wallet buys and just nuking that shit right when it migrates. Nuking that shit 100, 200K. So it's hard to buy with confidence, especially with size, when you're playing these new pairs or final stretch plays, because of the bundles, because of the multi-wallet buys, because of the streamers and all your favorite traders. It's very PvP. You have to know PvE versus PvP. PvP, if you guys don't know, is another gaming term, which is person versus person. It's very extractive, right? It's me against you. When it's very low market cap, it's like everybody's just trying to take their pee on the next person, right? PvE is where everybody eats, because it's a real cult, it's a real narrative, there's real catalyst that it could go beyond the pulse screen, it could go beyond where you can catch 10, 20, 100 mil runners. So your task is to scan and research pairs on migrated, on Deck Screener relentlessly. If you fail to do due diligence on every migrated pair, you're not going to know why things run. You're not going to see the patterns. And I can guarantee you guys, even if you're new and you have no prior knowledge, dedicating yourself to analyzing migrations daily for just 2 months will lead to significant progress in your understanding. Maybe not just profits right away, but it goes hand in hand. They're closely linked. You understand narratives, you understand catalysts, you're inevitably going to pick up on patterns, on inefficiencies that's going to make you a shit ton of money. If you don't understand that, you're not going to make it. Now, when you sense a unique opportunity and you find that play on Deck Screener, on migrated, and you feel like it could last more than that 5-minute window, you have to be fast. You have to do the due diligence fast, and you got to press buy fast. You got to know, what do other people think about it? What are they going to think about it later? And then you estimate the potential attention that it can gain moving forward. Just like I said with Valentine. What do I think about it? What does the world think about Valentine? Obviously, Elon Musk is the biggest KOL, whether he realizes it or not. I think Elon Musk might be in on some coins. Personally, he knows. Trust me, he knows about crypto Twitter. He runs Twitter. These are the things that you want to look at. Where's attention now? What happens if attention spreads past Twitter? Elon Musk talks about it. Trump talks about it. Where does it peak? Okay, and then when you're unable to see any further catalyst is when it just dies down. You have to be able to understand for yourself what the future catalyst might be, whether it's just a cult, whether it's just kind of like I said, just like the tech of Valentine, Grok, this whole meta in this specific example. And we made so much money off of Twitter plays, Elon plays, Grok, we made money off Gork, we made money off Grok plays, and now Grok characters. Like, it's important to understand why. Now, once you develop the solid plan, you position wisely. How do you position wisely? You aim for an amount where a successful trade feels meaningfully rewarding, but a loss won't hit your portfolio too hard. And then you stay patient and you let it play out. You don't want to capitulate just because it's a long accumulation phase. There's other coins that we've talked about in the Inner Circle or even that I've sent in Rage Pro that took time to play out. Nub was one where we was looking at this thing just bounce for weeks. Our entry was sub 5 mil and it came back, touched. It flipped, came back, touched again. Flipped, came back, touched again. But we wanted at least 4 or 5 X's out of this thing. Out of nowhere, it goes to 20, 25 mil. Next level. And that only comes from conviction. That only comes from letting your plays play out. Again, lower port kings. Take those 2 X's, whatever, you could re-enter. If you have full conviction, at least you're building your port on the way. But sometimes it might just end and not come back. And you don't want to find yourself chasing trades. So stay patient, let the results play out. If you're wrong, reassess it and move on. Figure out why you was wrong and move on. Now, if you're right, well played. Because now you're seeing patterns and inefficiencies way before the average person, and that's the goal of this whole thing. So you want to hone that ability to read attention towards projects and linking that attention to price. That's how you assess narratives. If we go back, Valentine is a perfect example of me doing that in real time. I'm talking about where price was and other similar narratives that took off. So if you look at Annie, 100 mil right now and still going, almost 100 mil. So that just tells me when Valentine drops, this could go to the next level as well. This could go to at least previous highs for a good take profit. And I'll show you guys fibs and stuff like that in a second, just so you can understand when it's in price discovery, how to actually take profits on coins that don't have support and resistance yet. Because things like sizing in your position, exits, all of that, it's technical, and I could show you guys technical analysis for all that. But narratives, understanding crypto culture, it's really intuition. It's just knowing the space and having a feeling, and you only build that with experience. When I'm looking at a crazy coin and VCs or whatever, I'm telling you guys, I'm like, guys, this is a 4 million market cap coin disguised as a 200k market cap coin. Why do I say things like that? Because I understand the valuation of a narrative based on experience, based on patterns. Again, these are the lagging outliers in utilities or narrative based opportunities. You got to be able to find those lagging indicators. And then obviously journal every single trade. The best way to find out what your shortcomings are is journaling every single trade and being able to see, okay, I gambled on this one, I gambled on that one. And you'll see patterns of maybe you gamble too much, maybe you top blast too much. The only way to know that is if you journal every single trade. And then you're gonna show what rules you need to stick to, what rules are you breaking that's leading to loss, and what you can do to increase your profits. You only get that through journaling. And again, in the course, I give you guys my full journal template where you could put the ticker, you could put how much you made, how much you lost, and just a quick breakdown on what got you into that trade. What's your conviction? What's your setup? What's your take profit? Like, what's your plan? You shouldn't get into any trade without a plan. Now, briefly, we'll go over technical analysis. I want to show you bottom charts, fibs, support resistance, accumulation channels, and order blocks. These are some of the best ways to find coins on those higher market cap charts so that you can play them strategically and not just top blast. And I'm going to show you the most common setups that I found that pretty much work the best, like every single time. Blue chip is another one that we've been looking at, and you can see this is a coin that was launched on Bonk. So just knowing that meta, everything on Bonk is kind of sending, it has the most support, things of that nature. It took off, gave us a retrace, had another leg up, and then you see this area where I have this purple zone was the accumulation area. This area was a strong level of support. I showed you guys before, support and resistance is basically just the floors and the ceilings on any given coin. And I'll go ahead, I'll remove all of this and show you from scratch exactly how to play these charts. Top down analysis. This is what we do. Go from the highest time frame. Usually the highest time frame is not going to give you a whole lot of data, but here it's a little bit of enough. I can see like two points here that are key levels. Right here you see it bounced off of this level strongly on the daily. The higher the time frame, the stronger the analysis. That's why we don't do this on like shitters. You see right here is a strong level of resistance, and then you'll go down to the 4 hour. The 4 hour, I'll actually refine it a little bit. Look how perfect that is. I'll actually refine it down to here because you want the most touches. Touched here, kind of broke, but respected it. See this wick here, touched, wick here, wick here. It's not going to be an exact price every single time. It could be more so of a zone. That's why I draw a lot of zone, because it's not going to be one exact price where you want to get in. It's going to be a zone. That's a zone. And then this support area as well, this is a zone. And I'll actually change it. These are strong levels because it's on a higher time frame, 4 hour, which is kind of a sweet spot here. 4 hour, because daily sometimes it's still too new, not enough data for a daily, but a 4 hour is like strong enough and there's enough data. So once it took off and hit this 12 mil, 13 mil area, that just proved like volume is there, mind share is there, like it has all of the technical aspects. Like you could tell like price is actually telling you something, right? So what we wanted to do is we was like, okay, where does this bottom out? Where does this bottom out? And you got to wait for price to actually do its thing. It came all the way back down and it formed a floor here, and it touched 1, 2, 3 times before it went up again. This means it's a strong floor. Floor is support, ceiling is resistance. Bounced a few times and you see it ranging within this channel. This is in retrospect, but guys, I've been doing this analysis since the coin came out in Pro. I put this coin out in the IC, and what you see here is this was a beautiful accumulation area. Anytime it touched this area is where it seems to bounce, and that's the lowest it's willing to go. So this is the point where you can enter, where you'll have the lowest amount of risk and the highest amount of reward on a coin like this. You get in at 7 mil, and this is the area we're bidding. Already 2x here, boom, came back down, another 2x, and it's still reaching price discovery up here. In between, you can see a little bit of another level here that it keeps respecting, right? Every time it comes here, it rejects or it holds up here. It reject and it hold it up here. It rejected here, it came back up, retested, came up here. It's another channel within the bigger channel. Even last week, when it came down here, I was screaming about it. Look, it's right back in the accumulation zone. It's nothing to get scared about. Price or these tokens are gonna go from people taking profit to people who really believe. People who are really going to hold this shit, and that's why it's not going below this level. Now there's real believers. There's people that believe in this coin, that want to take it to the next level, and then you'll see that obviously in the narrative. You'll see that in the community as well. And blue chip is basically what? Blue chip stocks. It's a common term for the most strongest stocks in the market generally. There's blue chip meme coins, all right? And then this is literally a meme of a blue fucking chip, a Doritos chip, right? So that's why it's just funny, all right? It's a meme. There's no utility. It's not actually a blue chip ticker, but it's a blue chip ticker, right? And that's just fun. Like the meme doesn't even really have to be explained that much. Those are sometimes the best memes. You see a community forming around it. Cabal's pushing it. You see everybody getting behind it. These are coins that you more so want to hold. It's still one of the most #1 trending coins in the bunk eco. So that's why we bidded it. Volume is hot. When majors are running up, they drip down into the higher market cap coins first before the trenches. So these are always going to be great opportunities, and it's not easy to always find these. You have to always be scanning and watching and going back to them and making sure, but you do this long enough, you'll find those inefficiencies and you'll be good at getting in on the lows with virtually no risk or very little risk, because on a higher market cap coin, the distribution is already evened out. The distribution, the top 10 holders on a coin like this is very different. Diamond holders, they want to send this shit all the way up to gazillion. And then what you'll also do, just so you can understand fibs as well, so that's support resistance. Let me clear the chart. Now another indicator of Confluence that you can find is fibs, and I teach this all the time. 61.8 is the golden ratio, but for memes, what I found, the golden ratio is actually 78.6. It's always going to hold 78.6 more because it's just a lot more volatile. And you see from swing low to swing high, what did it hold? 78.6. Look at this level. 78.6, 78.6, 78.6. Went a little bit below, but still held up. Oh, and would you look at that? That's also the level of support that we just put there too. That I just deleted, but just so you know, that's an area of confluence. That's when multiple indicators lead to a signal of an entry. And now, how do you spot take profit areas with fibs when you don't have any technical analysis above 20 mil here, above 16 mil? We don't have any technical analysis to go over. Fibs work beautifully for that as well. What you'll see is you'll go from swing high to swing low the opposite way, okay? And then your first take profit will be the first fib, 161.8. More than likely, this will hit around 24 mil. You get in at the lows, 7 mil, take profit, 24 mil. You're up almost 4x on a trade with size, with conviction. Beautiful. And then there's more take profits. You could put the next one at 34 mil. That's how you find take profit areas that haven't hit when it hits price discovery. Once it breaks out of this resistance here, it's more than likely going to hit that next level. And we've seen this. We did this on a coin just the other day. I was teaching fibs in the inner circle. We was going over it on Momo, and it hit our fibs exactly. This was before this giga candles came in. We was looking at this over here in these support levels. Somebody asked about take profits. I showed them the fibs. I said 161. Look what happened. It hit 161. Next zone will more than likely be around 50 mil, right? These are technicals, and it works more so on higher market cap coins because there's more data, there is more volume, there is people holding and see value in the token. So a lot of times, family, you're gonna see on coins, just like I showed you in the thing before, they're gonna make their run up, initial run up. It's gonna bottom out, and it's not until it bottoms out where it's gonna finally reach escape velocity. You can't get that on trenching. You only get that by understanding narratives. You only get that by doing due diligence and doing research. That's the only way to get that. But you gotta lock in. So yeah, family. And then this here would be the accumulation channel. Anything within this area would have been the accumulation channel. Even if you didn't get in at the pico bottom, which isn't always gonna happen, you still could have caught crazy X's in this accumulation. Look at that. Once you saw this was a solid coin, and this is where we started looking at it, right? Because I didn't catch pico bottom on useless. This was the area I seen it touched support on the 4 hour. Okay, something's happening here. This is very low risk, high reward. You know something's gonna take off when it's at the bottom, when it's respecting these levels. You had multiple times to get into this trade, and you're looking at other factors. Obviously, meme coins is not fully technicals. You want to look at the community. The community is growing. 4.3K members, 10.9K followers, notable holders. All of those things that we talk about when finding a good narrative, a good meme, come into play, and you're going to see those things get stronger on the back end as well. You're going to know the narrative of the coin as well. Useless was the #1 coin on Bonk, so you had to kind of just believe in the Bonk ecosystem as well and know these ecosystems. Now Uranus took off same way, went straight to 24 mil, and this is the #1 coin on Jupiter's launch pad. It came all the way down. This is when Pump released their Pump token. The market was super like fudding, all tokens were going down. I seen this, and I believe that Uranus is beautiful. Pause. I wanted to get a really nice position in Uranus. Pause. So what did I wait for? This same accumulation channel is also an order block. What is an order block? An order block is where price escapes. Price goes up, right? You want to see price doing something like this. And sometimes when price goes like this, that's what, like over here is the order block. This level, it needs to rebalance itself. The market needs to rebalance. There's so many people that didn't get to get in. A lot of people that are up a crazy amount. They're inevitably, like the psychology behind, they're going to take their profits, cabals, all of that. And then it's going to come all the way back down. No reason in top blasting those crazy green candles. It's going to come back down. It's going to touch the order block, support, all of these confluences that we're talking about. Then it'll usually run back up if the narrative is strong, if it holds. Because again, you could be wrong. We could have been wrong about Bonk taking over. We could be wrong about Uranus taking over, right? But that's where conviction and studying and actually keeping up with what's going on is important, and having conviction. So here you see the order block. Price took off here. There is no candles, no wicks in this whole area. Look, no wicks, no candles, no wicks, no candles until it came over here. Now the market got balanced out, which is why this was our entry. So we got in, boom, sub 7 mil, already hit 2x, right? So you could either be risk free, right, or building your position on the order block. Because what else is on this order block that you see here? Support, a strong level of support. The yellow line for me is 4 hour support. That's a strong level of support. Look how many times it came in this area. Bang, bang. Looks like it's coming right back into the channel. It looks like it could either hold this support, take off, or maybe come back into the channel, back into the order block and do its thing. That's what you see happening here, right? Strong. This is what you call strong accumulation. People know what they hold. They won't let it drop below that level. They won't let it drop. Fibs. From the swing low, the last swing low, this level, to the swing high. What is that right here? 78.6. Jumped off, jump off, jumped off. But again, we're looking for confluences. So there's a 78.6. There's a nice order block here, this whole area, and there's support. Really beautiful trade. We've not even in drawdown. We've been in profit since we got into the trade. Some people already risk free. Some people bid more here, even doubled up on their TPs, right? Almost 3x. And it looks like it's just playing in this channel still. If you have conviction, you believe in where the market is going, majors are going crazy. Bitcoin is hitting all-time high after all-time high. Solana is hitting all-time high. I mean, not all-time high. It's hitting higher highs, right? Back at 200 yesterday. Okay, that's going to drip into the higher market cap bags. Jupiter is a new entry into the ecosystem, new launch pad. If you believe in Jupiter, what they've doing or what they've done with, billion-dollar airdrops, one of the most important platforms in the space, I don't think they're going to let their top token die. We could be wrong, but that's why we aim for the lowest level of risk in our position. Now, if it breaks this area, you know, closes below here and starts playing within this channel, like if it breaks below here, then it's okay. Just cut the loss, wait for it to bottom out and enter again, or just hold for conviction if you really believe in the coin, right? Just don't risk anything that you're not willing to lose in any given coin, right? But this is something where you can see from the swing high to the swing low on fibs, okay? It went back up 2x, almost 3x, but the next take profit area is the previous all-time highs. So if this has any chance that the narrative sticks, if it holds, and I see more KOLs, I see more people talking about it on Twitter, I see Elon Musk making Uranus jokes. NASA dropped a post about Uranus being warm. Like, it was hilarious. Everybody, and like NASA, retail, normies, under that post making Uranus jokes. So I feel like just the meme in itself is strong. It's bigger than the token. It's on Jupiter, which matches the theme, right? The planets. So for me, it's kind of a free trade. I think anything under 10 mil, I said it before, I'll say it again, I think it's free. I have conviction in the trade. All right, so this is one of those ones where I'll hold it. I'm gonna see it through, right? This is easily, you know, the next take profit, previous all-time highs, and then even from there, look at this, you know, 32 mil. 30 mil, 40 mil. I see it going all the way to the full extent of close to 50 mil. Again, this is where doing your own due diligence comes into play. What's going to make you hold a coin like this? Through the accumulation, through the drawdown, things of that nature, right? And again, don't go crazy on a coin just because TILLA said it, or just because your favorite Telegram influencer said it, you know, because anything can happen. Maybe things go wrong. Maybe Jupiter just stops to give a fuck about their launch pad and whatever, who knows? But that's where this is a game of risk and managing risk. So manage your port accordingly, get in as low as possible. This is how you win consistently. These floors are way stronger than a brand new coin that just launched a few hours ago. So that's a full technical breakdown, and that's the idea behind it. That's how you want to look at trades. That's how you trench. That's how you find convictions. That's how you hold. Take a look at Dex Screener every single day. Do your due diligence on every single coin. Find those bottom out charts. When you find them, it is a gift. So execute on the gift, right? Bid those accumulation areas and believe in it. Let it play out fully. If this is still difficult for you and you have a low skill level, it's going to be too hard and you're going to be anxious every single time. So you got to set your, You got to set your goals accordingly. Don't make it just about money in the beginning. Make it about points. If you can make it about points, you'll actually learn to play the game. If you learn how to play the game, the money will follow. So if you have a 20 soul port, for example, just aim for 0.1, 0.2 soul in the beginning while you're learning. Because and then it's not gonna fit. You're not gonna feel anxious about every single trade. You'll actually be able to play and stay in a flow state and not liquidate yourself and run it up trade by trade. Like, it's a rare time in the world right now where we can literally print, right? This market is so liquid. Every single day there's $10 million, $20 million runners. It never ends. And it's been going on for a while now. It doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Everybody's building full stack on Solana still. New launch pads every other week. New protocols, new this, new that. You know, I don't see it going anywhere. And for it to last, it's not going to be PvP. Like, that style of trading and like fully extractive, you know, that trenching type of style, like a lot of people are going to get burnt and chase candles and stuff like that because it's going to be a lot of PvE. It's going to be a lot of 10, 20, 100 mil runners, and you're going to want to hold stuff, and you got to learn that style of trading if you want to make it long term. All right, guys, so that's the end of the training. If you made it all the way to this part of the video, congratulations to you. Very proud of you. Keep clicking, stay locked in, stay focused. It's only a matter of time. It doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen. So go ahead, join the link in the description. That's access to my Discord community, and I have an entirely free course from A to Z, everything you need to know. Like I said in the beginning, no other creator, no other trader has ever done anything like this. So go ahead and claim it while it's still there, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.